as well get started. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Thursday, June 12th, 2025. Here talking about Bedankt Incorporated. And before we kind of get to anything else, I wanted to take care of some of the background knowledge that I think is incredibly important to know about Bedankt, and what makes it a little bit different than any other company that I've kind of been a part of, and why it is that I'm excited. Now, full disclosure, I am still going to caution everyone that as with any investment that you decide to make, you want to make sure that you do your own due diligence, that you do your own research. And ultimately, I have always been told the most important thing to do is to make sure that you don't invest money that you're not willing to lose. Why is this a good rule of thumb? Well, simply put, investments carry risk. And so you don't want to put in the mortgage money or the car payment money or the food money, right? If you are going to invest any money with any company, not just Bedankt, you should always use what is discretionary money that you won't miss. But Bedankt itself is registered here in the state of Delaware. If you take a close look at the screen, you'll see this Delawaregov website. It is That's where Bedankt is registered in the state of Delaware. I'm pulling it up just so you guys are able to see exactly what it is. Here's our file number. And if you go to Google and just type in Delaware entity search, this will all pull up. Now, what I will say is that you'll see, they have a registered agent. And the reason why the registered agent is there is that because it basically allows for it basically allows for some anonymity for the company. And this is normal, right? When you're dealing with companies here in the US, you want your officers' information to kind of be hidden from the general public unless you need to go ahead and pursue them. And registered agents exist for this reason, particularly. But it also means that all the information on the company is here with the registered agent and with the Secretary of State, in case if you ever need to go ahead and pull it up. The other thing that I want to pull up is this money service business license. And if this is FinCEN.gov, and the reason why this is important, this is a federal site here in the U.S., and because Bedankt is here registered in the U.S., it also means that you are able to see that they have registered specifically for a money service business license in all 50 states. This is, I want to see, oh, actually downloads the actual license. And the reason why this becomes, incredibly important is because it allows you to, and I hope you guys can see the FinCEN Department of Treasury. It allows you to go ahead and actually operate a money service business in the state legally, and in this case, legally in all 50 states. Why is this important? Well, full disclosure, I've been a part of this industry now for quite some time. And when I've been a part of this industry, it always seems that that certain exchanges or certain brokers will come back and require more information in order for me to, or in order for anyone to prove that they're able to actually work with money in a very big way. And having an MSB license allows you then to prove that you are able to work with money. And that just adds an extra layer of protection. That doesn't mean that anything is full safe by any stretch of the imagination. People are people, companies are companies, and eventually, licenses are typically only used for registrations of companies with, say, an exchange. So, but it's good to have there. It means that they've done the extra legwork. They spent an extra few $1,000s in order to make sure that this company is actually able to register and trade money for other people and do it in a very effective way. And that's what Bedankt Incorporated does. It specifically combines two pieces of technology. One is a trading bot and two is a chip. And the reason why this becomes incredibly important is because when dealing with artificial intelligence, and pardon for my dryer making the noise in the background, but typically when you are dealing with artificial intelligence, you are dealing with a whole bunch of data that needs to be processed and processed quickly. And if you have ever been a part of cryptocurrency in any capacity, I know that you have heard the word miner, whether this is a Bitcoin miner or Ethereum miner before they move from proof of work to proof of stake. Um, Literally, you have dedicated hardware that allows you to mine coins at a more accelerated rate because it is calculating and solving certain mathematical equations. Well, the same thing happens with artificial intelligence. You have these very, very complex mathematical equations. It is analyzing data from a whole bunch of different sources. And even though computers are powerful, having a specific chip that has been tweaked to make sure that you are able to get to the calculations and get the answers more quickly, typically produce a better return. So bottom line, that's what we've done over here at Bedankt. We have literally gotten a chip developed that allows our artificial intelligence to make decisions faster and more quickly, so that we are more profitable. We are at the forefront of harnessing artificial intelligence to revolutionize trading and to also, both in the cryptocurrency and forex markets. Right now, cryptocurrency is first, and then the chip itself uh, provides the ecosystem for the bot to run at a very, very fast rate, which is important for what it is that we do and how it is that we do it. Um, Bottom line, there are a few things that happen over here at Bedankt. One, we monitor real-time market data. I think just about everyone that trades does this. Second is we execute high frequency orders. And we are going to talk about these high frequency orders, even give examples of how you could potentially do these manually, and why it is that Bedankt is able to offer the returns that it does and adapt strategies on the fly. And all of these things allow us to manage risk effectively. Managing risk is the name of the game, because it doesn't matter. I've heard my mentor say, it doesn't matter how much money you make, it matters how much money you keep. I've seen several traders. I have been part of the trading game now for over a decade, and I've seen several traders, even the most talented traders, be up by a whole lot in their accounts, and then they don't manage their risk. They do not move their stop loss. Stop losses are meant to do exactly what they say: stop the loss, or manage your risk. Won't move their stop loss into stop profit, meaning that they've locked in profit and it is a profitable trade, whether or not it continues to go in their direction or if it retraces or reverses. And what we do over here, because of the number of orders that we have, simply we need a robust ecosystem being able to go ahead and make decisions about when to enter, when to exit, and when to lock in our profits so that we have what we call risk-free trades. And one of the ways that we do this is by not only synchronizing data, but using what we call a cross-platform arbitrage. Now, cross-platform arbitrage is just one of the strategies that we use. I always tell people, hands down, we have several strategies that are used over here at Bedankt. It is important to understand that money is leveraged, and so with leverage, when things go in your direction, you are able to see very, very handsome returns. But when things go in the opposite direction of what it is that you go ahead and you predict that the markets are going to do, that creates drawdown for you. And so being able to manage the risk becomes of the top level importance. Cross platform arbitrage is the safest and the most frequently used strategy that we have over here. That's in conjunction with dollar cost averaging. That's in conjunction with hedging. And, in order to really highlight what arbitrage is. I'm going to go to a site called coinmarketcap.com. If you have ever been a part of cryptocurrency trading in any way, shape, or form, you know that coinmarketcap.com is kind of the home of everything important. And and we are going to take a quick look at, and right now I really do like this project SUI. So I'm going to take a look at the SUI markets. Right now it's trading at about $2.95. Notice I'm not saying at $2.95. I'm saying around $2.95. And what you are going to see is a range over here, like Binance, $2.95, and immediately I'm able to see the at Upbit it is at $3.01. What does this mean? Well, I'm sure that we are all able to do very, very simple math. And if we take $2.95 away from $3.01, we are left with 6 cents. There is a 6 cents difference for every single coin that is bought on Binance and sold on Upbit. Now, being able to perform these transactions quickly and effectively means that for every SUI that is bought on Binance, if we simultaneously sell it on Upbit, that we are making 6 cents per transaction. And I know that right now, if you're sat at home and you're doing the math, you're like, well, it's only 6 cents. Yeah, well, it's 6 cents over about $3. Which means, and I'm doing the math, 0.06 divided by 2.95, that works out to a 2% gain per trade. 2% per trade. If all the bot was doing right now was buying SUI on Binance and selling SUI on Upbit, we would make 2% per trade. And while that doesn't sound like a lot when it's $2.95, well, what happens when we're moving $100,000 at a time? Literally at $100,000, if we did $100,000 of this trade right now, we would make $2,033.89 with no risk. And so understanding how it is that, these opportunities begin to present themselves and why it is that these opportunities are incredibly lucrative becomes, absolutely imperative to understanding how it is that Bedankt makes money and why it is that we could go ahead and offer some of the returns that we offer. But it is incredibly important to understand that we do not just trust the AI blindly. We have human intelligence on top of it. Actually, the community is part of our human intelligence because they could submit data to us in order for us to analyze and really begin to fine-tune the markets and be able to make decisions about which way the market is going. But it's also because technology is great while it's working, and it's great until it isn't. And I tell people this all the time. Like it's funny because if you've ever had technology fail on you, you just understand what a pain in the behind it is. And I will use something that we are all very, very familiar with, a refrigerator. Your refrigerator is great until it stops cooling. Whether that's because, the fan decides to break down on you, whether that's because ice buildup happens in the back of the fridge and now, the air isn't circulating. Your refrigerator is great at working and keeping food fresh until it isn't. But that one time that it fails, you cannot trust the fridge to fix itself. You need human interaction. Well, the same thing that is very, very true with artificial intelligence. It is doing a phenomenal job at trading the markets and doing it at an accelerated rate, at a rate that no human eyes and no human fingers could go ahead and do it. But in the off chance that it does something that it's not supposed to do, if there is a failure of system, I promise you, you are going to want human eyes on the project itself. And over here at Bedankt, we have it just to make sure that we are able to mitigate risk on that side. Our core values are very simple: innovation, integrity, excellence, and collaboration. And that brings us to the four pathway earning system. I'm not going to cover every single one of the pathways because some of them are still in development. I want you to understand where you are and what the timing of this opportunity looks like for you, because ultimately Bedankt will continue to evolve as time goes on and will become into a more robust ecosystem as time goes on. But as it stands right now, we have a few ways to earn. One is our daily ROI. And this is the most basic of all the ways that people earn. What does it look like? Well, starting at a $300 investment, you get a daily return of 1.2%. That works out to $3.60 a day for every $300 that's invested, Monday through Friday, 5 days a week. And it does come with some stipulations, okay? First is that you are able to start withdrawals 72 hours after investment, and you can take out your principal. This is the original that you put in after 20 days. The project itself or the investment itself will run and produce income for you for 730 days. That's 2 years consistently. Okay. Now, why would there be restrictions on certain things? And the reason is because ultimately you need security of funds within the trading space in order to make sure that you are able to move money quickly. And anytime that initials are taken out, it has a potential, especially at larger numbers, to harm what the trading balance is and harm how quickly we are able to go in and out of the markets. It's also part of the reason why Bedankt processes all of its payouts, all of its withdrawals on Tuesdays and Fridays, just to make sure that we don't have withdrawals every day of the week, and we are able to automate that process. So there's a script that runs on Tuesday and Friday to go ahead and have withdrawals hit your wallets immediately. So this is the beginning level, but DaemonX Surge starts when you hit $7,000, and now you're making 1.6% a day. Okay, you're still doing 5 days a week. You still have the ROI after 72 hours. You are able to take out your originals after 35 days. It still runs for 730 days. The one thing that I didn't talk about on the other side was the Bedankt tokens. Well, what are Bedankt tokens? Well, right now, Bedankt is in the process of creating its own coin. And the reason why it would create its own coin is because it allows us to do a lot more in the space. It allows people to have some governance, right, in regards to where the project goes, et cetera, et cetera. And so these points eventually are going to be used for a combination of things. And, one of them is for governance, so you will be able to take your points and turn them into coins. And then the other thing that I do know is coming quickly is it will be integrated in some way, shape, or form with our unlimited crypto debit card, our metal crypto debit card that is coming to the market in the next month or so. So the points right now, for me, it is not crystal clear all the things that it will be able to do because it has not become a huge part of our ecosystem as of yet. But what I do know is that Bedankt is looking at making this into a worldwide phenomenon where people just get used to earning their ROI every single day. And this initial way of earning is basically the starting point. The DaemonX Bolt starts at $18,000. You can put in as much as you want. Your daily ROI is 2%. Well, on $18,000, 2% works out to $360 a day, Monday through Friday. If you do the math, 360 by 5, right? It's a good amount of money. It's a good amount of money. It is $1,800 every single week, 100% passive, coming into your account just because you decided to park some money here with Bedankt and let them trade for you. And I want to be very, very clear. Right now, if you are not familiar with trading, you might be saying to yourself, well, why would I want someone to trade for me And, isn't there risk involved? Da, 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 da. And I want to be the first one to tell you, if you have not heard it before, banks are trading your money with or without your permission. It's part of the reason that they are able to go ahead and give you a return on investment, or they're able to give you an APY for earnings based on the money that you hold in deposit at the bank. Every single day, they are trading your money with or without your knowledge in order to make money for the bank. And then they give you a small little percentage at the end of the year to say thank you for letting us use your money to make us money. But unlike a bank who might top off at 2% a year in terms of earnings, maybe 5% if you're extremely lucky, here at Bedankt, you get to earn anywhere from 1.2 to 2% a day. Okay. The only other way that I am going to cover today, ladies and gentlemen, is the 6-level referral program. And why is this important? Well, obviously, if you are telling people that you know about our program, they are putting money into the system, they begin to earn their passive earnings from Bedankt. We want to make sure that you are rewarded for making that introduction to the person for us. The company is still going to do all the trading. The company is still going to move the money how it needs to be moved. It's going to move it in and out of the multiple accounts that we have. It's going to go ahead and, execute trades or execute the arbitrage or do the dollar cost averaging or the hedging strategy. It's still going to make deposits into your e-wallet every single day that then can be withdrawn on Tuesdays and Fridays directly into your wallet. But Bedankt literally says, well, if you're going to make the introduction, we want to reward you. And we have a very, very, I'm not going to say aggressive, but lucrative compensation plan. It's 6 levels steep. And so this means that if you tell someone that tells 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 someone, you're still going to get paid. For every person that you personally tell, you're going to earn 5% of whatever it is they deposit plus 5,000 Bedankt points. So that means that, you have someone come in, they put in $1,000. You are going to earn $50 from introducing them, plus you're going to make 5,000 Bedankt points. Now, if that person goes ahead and they tell someone that puts in $1,000, you're going to make 3% of that transaction, or $30, plus you're also going to get 3,000 Bedankt points. And now if that person tells someone, you're going to make 2% or $20, plus 2,000 Bedankt points. So on and so forth. 6 levels deep. And I've been a part of this industry now for a while, and I just know that typically your large volume is not going to come from the people that you personally bring to the table. Sometimes it will, but as your organization begins to grow, I'll let you know that going multiple levels deep is really what allows you to earn money in a very, very big way. The last program that I was involved with that that had any sort of resemblance to Bedankt, I'll let you know that my organization was turning over about $350,000 in deposits every single week. And that was based on 4 levels. If it was 6 levels deep, I'm pretty sure that my organization would have been clearing 400 to 450, maybe even $500,000 worth of deposits every single week. And knowing that I get to earn on every single dollar that is deposited makes a very, very big difference for me. That being said, and I'm going to stop the screen share here. I really want everyone that's on this call to stop and think about what is comfortable for them. Whatever number that is, the number that you are comfortable with spending, I'm going to challenge you, number one, to do 2 things. Number one is to go create a free account on Bedankt.com, call up the person, Bedankt.com, Bedankt.ai. I'm going to ask you to get back to the person that invited you, get a link from them, register for the site. That part is 100% completely free. The second thing that I want you to do is think about what it is that you are comfortable putting into this program just to test it. I don't know where everyone is from, but what I do know is this. For me, when I go out to dinner in New York with my partner, I know that she and I, we typically just dinner and drinks runs $300 or more. So when I see a $300 minimum, I don't need to think about putting $300 down because that's just dinner for me when I do decide to take my lady out on a date. But I want everyone that is here to really think about what that number is. The number that is discretionary, the number that is a no-brainer, the number that doesn't require, for you to get approval from your significant other, to because it's within the budget. And that's why I suggest that you start with your Bedankt. I don't suggest that you start with more. I suggest that you start with what is super, super comfortable. And then from that point, and only from that point, you kind of go on and you see, okay, I see how this works. I see how the earnings work. Poke your head around the back office. Begin to understand all the features that Bedankt comes with. And then when your comfort level goes higher, then and only then should you go ahead and decide to put in more than what is a no-brainer for you. This is how I stay safe in the markets, and this is how I suggest you stay safe in the markets. Yes, there's a lot of money to be made here, but ultimately, money should not come at the cost of peace of mind. And so if you are putting in too much money, or you're putting in money that is a stretch for you, or if you definitely, please, please, please don't put in the mortgage money or the food money or the utility money, which I kind of touched on earlier. We want everyone that is part of Bedankt here to have a very, very peaceful journey with us. A journey where they could begin to count on the money that's coming in every single week, but also a journey that they could go ahead and begin to smile every single day when they see those deposits coming. And that being said, it starts with registration, and then it starts with really doing a deep dive on what's comfortable for you. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, it's just about 10:30. We started here at 10. I do understand that it is late for the East Coast for some people, and some people still have work in the morning. They're not 100% passive, so I don't want to belabor the point. Step one, get back to the person that invited you and ask for a link so that they can go ahead and get you registered. Step two, take whatever's discretionary and go ahead and let's get it put in Bedankt so that we can begin to see how the system works, and we can do the very, very famous earn as you learn. The best way to learn the compensation plan is to earn it. The best way to learn the passive income opportunity over here is to earn it. And so the more familiar you become with the back office, the easier it's going to be to make decisions about Bedankt in the future. And that's what we are welcoming you here to do. And I sincerely hope that you take us up on that offer and see your money multiply with Bedankt. That being said, before I get off of this, I want to thank every single person for spending some time with us, for seeing what it is that we are doing, and for even taking a look at it, because ultimately you could be anywhere in the world at 10:30 p.m. on this Thursday, June 12th, but you decided to be here. And I just want to say thank you for your time and thank you for your attention. And prayerfully, we'll see you in Bedankt, and I cannot wait for you to start earning with us. Have a great night on purpose, and I will see you on Tuesday and Thursday next week. God bless you guys. Bye.